a lot of people say word of mouth, someone recommended you. I saw your billboard, I heard you on the radio. So I don't know that I could really pinpoint one specific um, advertising or way of marketing that.
Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Nguyen,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Hey, today, guys and gals, we've got returning guest, Rhett Capiello from Click and Close Mortgage and the Dubuc team. Hey, Rhett, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm glad to be here.
Well, hey, we're glad to have you here, and you've brought just an unbelievable person with you today. Who did you bring along today?
I brought someone a beautiful woman inside and out, Ann Jones, and she has her own realty office, and she's in Brownwood, Texas.
Yes, she is. Welcome to the show, Ann.
Thank you.
Hi, Ann.
It's exciting to be here, and what a nice introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, we're excited to have you here. You know, you've been in the industry here in our neck of the woods. We know that from the green room. And then you brought that out there to Brownwood. But let's talk about the beginnings, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure before you were a realtor, you were something else. Where'd you get your start? Where are you from originally?
Well, I was in Plano, and I needed to go to work. And so I interviewed with Lou Smith Realtors. And so Mike Grossman hired me as his secretary for the Plano office.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's go back a little farther, though. Are you from Texas originally? Are you a native?
I am. Grew up actually in Brownwood. My husband and I both are from Brownwood. And after Brownwood, we lived in Lubbock, Albuquerque, Lubbock, and then back in Plano. And that's where.
So you guys moved around a little bit.
Yes. He
Very
with
cool.
his job.
Yeah. And what did he do? Or does he
Back
do?
then, he was a salesman with Lipton Tea.
Lipton Tea. Man, you just got me thinking about my mom and the glass pitcher, right, sitting on the front porch, brewing tea on a Sunday afternoon in Kansas.
Yes.
You just brought me way back.
A lot of fun times. Very, very blessed.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember the yellow package, right? The long yellow package with the, yep. You got me back to childhood, Ann. I love it. I just had a memory there. So let's talk about that. So he's a salesperson, and he's moving around a lot. I think you mentioned Albuquerque. So you guys were out in New Mexico for a while. Is that right?
5 years and loved it.
That's awesome. So out in New Mexico, end up back in Plano, Texas. And you said, hey, I'm going to go work as a secretary for a real estate office. And who was it you said gave your start?
Lou Smith and Mike Grossman.
There it is. And so let's talk about that. So you said you came in as a secretary and you left as a real estate agent.
Yes. Well,
how does that happen?
I think that Mike thought I would be a better salesperson than I was office secretary. And so he really encouraged me to get my license, which I did. And gosh, the rest is history. Plano was at a growth mode then, and I happened to have some connections and did a lot of corporate relocation. Even was involved somewhat with JCPenney's relocating from New York, made several trips to New York, and worked with a lot of corporations and their employees relocating to the Dallas area. So
that's fantastic.
Fun times.
Yeah, that's great. And when would this have been? This would have been because you couldn't be more than 30, so this was what, a couple of years ago?
2 years old when I did
that. I love it. So you get in there and you show him what an amazing assistant that you can be, and he had the foresight to see the true potential, right, of Ann Jones.
I like the way you think. Yes.
I love it. Well, and he was right. A visionary, because at the end of the day, sometimes, having that right mentor, they see things in us that we don't even see,
Yeah. And I needed a lot of confidence. I really did. And so And actually, that's what I try to do with my agents. We're all ladies, not necessarily by design. I laugh and say that it's really hard to go up against all of us strong-willed ladies, but
I would agree with that.
yeah. But that's building their confidence and helping them be a success is what gives me a tremendous amount of joy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's why we wanted to bring you on the show, because we know with all the great ones, right? The people that are doing really, really big things out there in the industry, there's always a story behind that. And, if for you, it sounds like it's the passion of helping others. And I think part of that might be because at one point in time in your career, somebody wanted to help you,
over and over,
lift you up.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Over and over.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So they approach you and they say, hey, we think you might be better on the sales floor and not in the bullpen. How did that transformation look? Was it just immediately you hit the ground running and you're out there just winning the day? How'd that transition look?
Well, of course, being a real estate secretary, I learned a lot. In fact, the majority of my agents right now were my real estate secretaries when they began, my office managers. And so, it was once I got my license and they hired somebody to take my place, and I was selling real estate. I was out networking and making calls. And back then, people looking to move to Plano in the area were sending their information into the Chamber of Commerce. And I was very involved in the chamber at that time, and I knew that was an option, so I just utilized it.
That's so smart. So let's talk about this. So from secretary to real estate agent, how long were you in the industry before you made that transition yourself?
Probably about 2-3 years.
About 2-3 years, and you're learning things from the ground floor up, and now you're duplicating that process to help build successful agents on your team. Yeah. How long do you typically? What's the average turnaround time from somebody that's in your team that starts off, as an assistant and moves into that realtor role?
Well, each one is different. Once the girls got their license, for instance, Heidi was my first office manager, and swore she would never go into real estate. And after she had been working for me for a couple of years, she decided to get her license. So she put her kids to bed and stayed up late at night and got her license. So at that time, it was just the two of us. So I allowed her to go ahead and start selling and listing while she was still the office manager. That's so right. It's really hard to make that transition when you have multiple agents. And so the girls I'd hire someone else, they'd go into sales. They knew what to do. They knew how to market themselves. They knew how to start gaining business, and that's what they did. And then that's what's built their success.
Well, you brought up a great point. You said they knew how to market themselves.
Yeah.
And, we're in a time right now where there's a lot of agents and loan officers that have left this industry because, quite frankly, they didn't know how to market themselves. True. Right? What secrets can you provide without giving them all up, to somebody who's a newer agent out there or a struggling agent, as to where they can start to work on their marketing skills? What would you recommend?
Well, there are a variety of ways, but let me tell you what I do as a company, which has gone a long way to market them. We use billboards. We do radio. We use a marketing company. And so I have office managers who know a lot about social media and how to present us. But we do a lot of fun things with our billboards. They change them out, the billboard, every 3 months. We have photos with ourselves doing a variety of things, fun, crazy. We promote the police department, the fire department, do just a lot of different events, which that gets us a lot of attention because we do a variety. And my landlords are owners of radio stations, so we work with them and do a lot of advertising and interviewing the girls. And so all of those things work together because there's not one way of marketing yourself that works because we have such a diverse buyers and different locations.
Hey, Ann, of all your marketing platforms, I'm sure you track where you get your leads from and stuff. Is there one that's just far and above everything else where you generate the most leads?
It's pretty much of a variety because the leads go directly to the girls. And a lot of people say word of mouth, someone recommended you, I saw your billboard, I heard you on the radio. So I don't know that I could really pinpoint one specific advertising or way of marketing that gets the best result. It's all of it.
I love it because, one thing you didn't say is I pay for Zillow leads, which seems like all the brokers across the country seems to always want to pay for Zillow leads. And I love that you didn't say that.
Well, I'll tell you what I love that she talked about a lot of community outreach.
Yeah.
She said that she's involved with the local, police department, the local fire department. She's on the radio. She's on the, she's around the community, right? I have a feeling, if I make a trek out to Brownwood, I'm going to see your team, and it's going to be abundantly clear exactly who you guys are. And if I'm listening to the radio, I'm probably going to hear something about your team there too. And if I pop onto social media, guess what? You're probably going to be popping up right there as well. Is that fairly accurate?
Yes. And one thing that's very important I didn't mention is that we sponsor a lot of charitable events. We have sponsor tables. We donate a lot to charitable and civic organizations here because we just feel it's extremely important to give back to the community. When you're blessed, it's important for you to give back.
I couldn't agree with you more. And that is right. You've got to give back because this is an industry where, we can do very well financially. It takes a lot of work. But at the same time, if we put that back into the communities that we're growing and serving, right, we're doing blessed things for the people that are out there.
Yes.
And that, from what I've had in my career, and I'm assuming yours as well, Ann, is that when we're doing things for the right reasons, business just happens to come your way.
Yes. And I tell my agents, put your client first, take care of your client first, and the money follows. And
I want to go down that pathway. Put your clients first, and the money follows.
Yes.
Talk more about that.
Well, it's just a matter as if you get too caught up in what you think you're going to be making, and that becomes more important than your client, then you're not going to take the best care of your client. You might take shortcuts you shouldn't take. And it's just not a good road. So, I said you just have to stay focused on your client. Taking care of them, trying to solve any problems that they may have in a very fast, efficient way is a way to handle them and let them know that how important they are to you. Yeah. And then you start getting personal referrals from that. And that's how you build your business, is off of those personal referrals, which the best advertising anybody can get.
You know what we call that, Ann? It's unreasonable hospitality. Yeah, you've got to be unreasonably hospitable because at the end of the day, when you're out there and you're really doing things to just create the best possible service for the consumers, it changes you as a person too. You become a better person, and the people that are around you, have better, more richer lives because you're just being unreasonable with how hospitable you are. And it sounds like that's maybe a motto that your team could easily pick up because you're already doing it. You're already being unreasonably hospitable, right?
We try. We really do. I'm working with a first-time buyer right now, and she keeps telling me, she said, "Man, I didn't know it was going to be this easy." Of course,
that's
she's
awesome.
well qualified, and she's making it easy. But
I was going to say, but it's not easy. You know it's not easy, right? Even if she's got all the stuff lined up, it's still not easy. There's a lot of moving parts that goes behind getting people to the closing table. For her to come forth and says that, it's a testament to what you're doing, right? It's a testament to the way that you serve your community and your clients.
Well, thank you, but it sure makes it fun too. So.
I love it. She's having fun.
Yeah. So Ann, what's that team look like? How many agents? And it sounds like you're still a producing broker. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. I guess I'm the broker, and I have 5 agents.
And you still are producing, right? You're still out there doing deals and showing houses and everything?
Oh, absolutely. When you're a small company like we are, I have to be a working broker.
Yeah.
I don't take phone time. I only work on personal referrals, but I try not to be too much in competition with the girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because we know you're in Brownwood, but we know you were in Plano. So how do you get from Plano to Brownwood, with your real estate business? Because that's a whole different market. So how does that happen?
Well, it happens that your husband sells his company in Dallas and wants to move back to your hometown, which is Brownwood. And so we sold our house in Plano and bought a place on the lake. Now, I'll be honest with you. When he first started telling me he wanted to move to Brownwood, because it was not the town it is today, it had a lot of boarded up buildings, I really, really thought I might have a heart attack. But it's been the best move. The Lord knew what he was doing when he moved us here. I love what I do. I love my agents. I love working in the community. I love living on the lake. It was the best decision. So, sometimes it's hard to trust, but hey, sometimes it works out real well.
Well, look at you out there. You're living a beautiful life, and you're inspiring people to become, amazing agents, and you're helping the community that brought you up, and you're back out there as being a pillar, right, in Brownwood. And that's such a special thing, to be able to come back to your hometown and bring something great with you. And that's exactly what you've done. You took all that knowledge that you gained to the industry out here in Dallas, and you said, hey, I'm going to bring that back to Brownwood, and I'm going to create that same type of a service environment for my community, the one that brought me so much.
And how long have you been in Brownwood now, Ann?
We've been back in Brownwood about 27 years.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, and I mentioned that too because I'm not from Texas originally. I'm from a town called Salina, Kansas. I live in Salina, Texas. That's by design. But I remember when I got to bring my business back home, and I've got a gentleman in Salina, Kansas, Joe Bondio. And we're just now starting to build out his team as well. He's operated on his own for several years, but now we've added Shayla. And, it feels great because I'm able to take something that I brought from Dallas back to my hometown and provide a great service to the community that raised me. So, when I see folks doing that, it pulls at my heartstrings because I think it's so important, right, to be able to do that. And that's a special thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it makes me want to drive to Brownwood and see all those billboards. I know. The more and more I talk to you,
I want to talk about Brownwood because, to be quite frank with you, I'm here in Texas and I do get out occasionally, but I've never been to Brownwood and it sounds beautiful. Let's describe it because there may be some audience folks that are thinking about making a move. You never know where they're going to go, and sometimes hearing about the beautiful parts of America is really important. What's it like to live in Brownwood?
Well, of course, I love it. It is a small town. We're about 20,000. Our population with the county is probably closer to 90,000. Our real draw is how pretty it is around here. We have a lot of rolling hills. We have, more in the southern part, lots of oaks that kind of get more scarce as we move towards the Abilene area. But we have a huge, beautiful lake that so many people from West Texas own property around the lake because it's the largest lake close by.
What's the name of the lake?
And Lake Brownwood.
Lake Brownwood, okay.
And we have a lot of hunting. Mm-hmm. 30 years ago, cultivated land was the desire most people were trying to buy.
Yeah.
Today, they want that recreational,
the raw land,
deer and the dove and all of that. So we see a lot of people wanting to locate here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of young people who grew up in Brownwood and couldn't wait to leave, and then started having a family and decided, hey, Brownwood's a pretty nice place to live. I'm going to move back home and raise my children.
Get back to your roots.
That's an enormous compliment to the community. We have 3M Industries. We have 3M in color. We have a regional hospital. I'm excited about the things that are happening. We just opened the City Did Event Center. Was at actually a party last night there. And we have excellent leadership, young people with creative ideas who want to work hard and see things happen for Brownwood. So it's just, downtown is thriving. To me, it's just a great place to live and to raise your families, or being a retired person. We see a lot of the people from 3M and Kohler who are choosing to stay here once they retire because they love it so.
It sounds wonderful. It sounds like it's very wholesome, a lot of great values, and I think that's one place that we need to get back to, just in general in this country, great moral values, right? Doing things for the right reasons. And, it's towns like yours, that make me think of that. You've got the lake and, just all the roots of people that don't want to leave, and they don't want to leave for good reason. It sounds beautiful there.
Well, it is. And like tonight, I serve on a committee at the hospital, and one of their programs is from Texas A&M is their rural doctor program. So we have an intern who's doing his intern work here at the hospital. So he's going to be our guest. We're going to the Lyric Theater tonight, which is pretty amazing, and taking him out and kind of showing him around town. So.
That sounds fantastic. Do we have room for a few more?
Well, I can already tell why you're so successful. Yeah. It sounds like you're the ambassador of Brownwood. Everything you said, you're a civic leader. You post all over the place.
She's the lady about town.
No, she's definitely the ambassador of Brownwood.
Did you consider running for mayor?
Who was it that we talked to the other day? Was it Craig Allen? That's from Brownwood also? Red?
We did just talk to another gentleman from
Red? Was that Craig?
It's not Craig. It's something else.
He's a broker also out there.
Doug Allen.
Doug Allen. You know him?
Yeah.
Doug Allen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know Doug. We've done quite a few transactions together.
Yeah. It seems like everybody out in Brownwood is happy and just like you, and it sounds like that's the place to be.
Well, we think it is. So, and more people are coming all the time.
Well, we hear that a lot. We do a national podcast, as you know, and we talk to people from all over the country. And, what we're finding is the people are moving out of the big cities, and they're moving into the little pockets, the places like Brownwood, or, there's a lot of places in Arkansas that we've talked to, in North Carolina, where it's getting back to the roots of the values. It's getting away from, all the colossal craziness that the cities have brought. And let's, be honest with you, I think COVID changed the world a little bit. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you know what? I want to get back to those wholesome values. And that's why they're seeking out places like Brownwood, because you guys have it. It never left. It's always been there, and people miss that. They miss that part of life. So I see why people are moving out there, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Well, let's talk about your other half. We love to talk about your success. Sounds like you're from a successful family in general. And so you said your husband sold a business. What was his business?
Label business.
What was that?
The label.
A label business.
Label. He was a label business.
Label. He was one of the biggest label here in Central Texas. You do on high speed labels.
Yeah.
Sensitive identification labels, all of that.
That's wild.
And very successful. So successful that a company out of London, England, contacted to buy us out.
That's great. So from Lipton tea to the high-speed label industry.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother podcast. That would be a great one to hear. That's a really amazing story. And so, you guys sold the business. Does he work today, or is he's a stay-at-home hubby?
No, not my husband. He does a lot. He's involved in community also. He serves on the water board. He's served on several city committees. But he got into building storage units, built them and sold them.
Okay.
He's been flipping houses. So he's always had some project going on.
Do you guys ever sleep? Like you're talking about all these things you're doing, and I got to be honest with you, I'm getting exhausted. I'm only 47, and you guys are out there. You guys are a little bit everywhere.
Well, we enjoy it. It's fun. It's something we can do together and have fun doing.
No, it is fun. It really is fun. That's the thing is that when you get involved in these programs and get involved in the community. And I tell you, there's nothing more rewarding, and you come home and you did good and you did good things for people. And man, it's just a special moment. It was funny, we do some stuff with a charitable service here. And once a year we'll go out and do the food drive with our kids. Good. And we bring the kids out there. And I'll never forget, my daughter comes out and she didn't quite understand what we were doing. And so we were giving the food drive away and we get back and she's like, yeah, she said we were giving food to orphans. And I said, well, that's not quite what we were doing. I mean, that's a very amazing cause as well. We were actually we were giving out food and toys to families in need. That's what we were doing. But she said we were giving food to orphans, and she looked so proud out there with her big box, and her hat with the branded materials, and putting food in people's cars. And it was just it's stuff like that. It's such a special moment,
It is, and it helps keep kids grounded.
Yeah.
So that they aren't living in where they see everybody is affluent.
Yeah.
It's just not the way the world is.
Well, and it's not about take.
Good for
It's about give.
Hey, Ann, I want to pick your brain a little bit. You've seen the industry from all walks. The last couple of years has been crazy. Tell us about in Brownwood what it's like. We know it slowed down a little bit, but it's picking up across the country as we speak. How's the market there compared to the rest of the world?
Market like?
Well, during COVID, it was amazing.
Right.
Just shocked about how much real estate was sold during COVID, and so we are beginning to get back into a more normal, if you will, market. We are, and the Brownwood market stays fairly steady because of the industries we have here, and for the lake and the ranches. Now, actually, we're moving a little bit more toward a seller's market than we have been as a huge buyer's market. So how properties are staying on the market a little bit longer. Right now with 7% interest rate and a presidential election, which is traditionally slows down real estate. We're not seeing our buyers like we'd like to see them, but people are still buying, needless to say. I just sold an $850,000 listing at the lake, and I have another very expensive one that I have a buyer interested in it. So we are still seeing lots of buyers coming in. We're small town, so the average sales price in Brownwood is somewhere around $250,000, something like that. Yeah. And so those houses are continuing to sell. Great. At a good rate.
Yeah, that's great. And we knew that. We knew you were still having a lot of success because we've seen your report card and we know what you guys are doing out there. And that's why we like to bring great agents like you on the show. Because, again, you never know who's out there on the agency side that's saying, hey, I don't know how to have success. And, they see Ann Jones and they assume, you just woke up one day successful. And we know that's not what it is. You worked really hard to get there and you work really hard to stay there. And that's something we like to highlight. But at the end of the day, we also know things have slowed down. But the great agents, the ones like you, Ann, and your team, you're still productive because of your activity. the things that you're doing. And I'm glad that you shared that with us, because, you may have changed one person's opinion about this industry who says, man, you know what, I can do this. I just need to be more like Ann. And I think.
Well, that's very nice of you. But kid you not, if you're successful, you are working hard.
That's a fact.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not unusual for me to have 10-hour days, sometimes 12-hour days.
I believe it.
And it's nonstop, and sometimes 7 days a week.
Well, I don't think
so. While it's a wonderful industry, if you want to be successful, you better come with the mindset, I'm willing to work and do what it takes to be successful.
Amen.
Let's talk about that, Ann. Is there retirement in the future anytime soon?
Why would I?
I love it. You know what?
She loves what she does.
You know what? I wanted to transition, because when you say I work 10, 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and after what you talked about, you don't have to work. You don't have to do things. You do this because you love it.
She loves it.
You love it.
That's
you know
right.
what? I talked to a lady. I have a partnership with a lady in Georgia. She's 86 years old. And she's still out there selling real estate. And when I talk to her, I go, what are you doing, Pam? She goes, I love it so much. Now it's just, I've gotten to a point where it's the great-great-grandkids that she's doing, because they'll call her up and go, we don't trust anybody else. Can you please show my house? And she can't drive anymore. So now she forces her husband to take her to all the listings. And I tell her, I go, what? She goes, I can't, because
it's a beautiful life.
Because it's like you said, it's such a fulfilling thing to help someone purchase the largest purchase of their life. It's not just it's not a couch. It's not it's their home. Think about what home means to everybody. And you are fulfilling that. I think it's commendable.
Well, it's not just that. She's also fulfilling, the people that work with her. She's helping mentor them and make them better, versions of themselves. And that's amazing too, because that leaves a legacy beyond you, and there's something very selfless about that, and that's why we love getting you here on the show, Ann, because we know you're busy. We know you got a call right after this one. And as much as we'd love to keep you here all day, we know you got to go at some point in time. Is there anything we didn't tackle today that we should have?
Well, I just want to, and I hope everyone understood from all of this, and you guys are so kind and generous with your compliments, but just know that we are here. Our phones are answered, have agents on duty all the time. We love our clients, whether you be buyers or sellers, whether you're buying or selling anytime soon, or you're just getting ready. We're here to help you get ready for that time. And we like to help people stage their homes so that it shows as well as possible. We provide a lot of service to our clients, because we're not successful unless they're successful first. And so we're here, we're ready. Call us, pick our brains, just ask us what we think. We'll tell you.
I love it.
You may not like what we say all the time, but we'll be honest with you. So
we know you're there. There's no question about it. We know you're going to answer. There's no question about that. And we know if we don't see you at the office, we're going to see you somewhere around town, because you're out there in the community doing it all. But when the folks do want to find you and your team, Ann, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
They can call 325-646-1500 is our office number, and either my office manager or an agent will answer the phone, or they can call our webpage, which is AnnJonesRealEstate.com.
You make it too easy.
And
AnnJonesRealEstate.com. And if you're watching this podcast, you just saw that go right across the bottom of the screen. But if you're listening to the podcast, just run over to the description, and we have all of Ann and her team's contact information right there for you. And just to make sure that you're clear on what market Ann serves, she's here in Texas, right out of Brownwood, Texas. And I'm sure that she serves some of the outside communities of Brownwood as well. Is that correct, Ann?
We do. Yes, we do. We're in Central Texas, and that is what makes us so attractive to many people. And we serve several counties: Brown County, Comanche County, Mills County, Coleman County, McCulloch County. We we serve beyond just Brown County.
And let's clarify this too. If you're looking for a home, great. If you're looking for a lake home, great. If you're looking for recreational land, which Texas has a lot of it, and the county she's named off are known for it. These are just some of the services that she can bring to you. So, keep that in mind when you're saying, hey, well, what all can Ann serve for me? It's all of it. She's got it all. So.
And our prices are still very reasonable compared to those the closer you get to the
Well, you said it right out of the starting gate. You said $250 is the average sales price. We're certainly nowhere near $250 out here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And at the end of the day, you guys have some beautiful homes in a beautiful part of America and a very humble values.
Absolutely. And so come on,
Let's do it. We're going to Brownwood. All right. I love it. Well, Dave, anything you want to say to our guests before we wrap up the show today?
No, I just know if I'm looking for a home in Brownwood, there's only one lady I'm calling, and that's Ann. So not only do I get to hang out with her, but she can. It sounds like it's a good time. So call Ann, guys, if you're in Brownwood looking for a home.
Hey, Rhett, anything you'd like to say to our guests before we let her get back to her very fulfilling life?
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure for all of us to get to know you more, Ann, and we can tell you're genuinely a good person too. And I think that's what I took from this more than anything. And tugged on my heartstrings a couple of times was your story. So I'm glad you're able to share with us. It means a lot. So you're doing an awesome job. So I look forward to going to Brownwood. I've already looked it up.
Well, you're going, Rhett. We're sending you.
So, not too far. Yeah, we're going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Rhett, I think.
Well, you're a lot of fun. You made it fun. So,
of course.
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed
weekend. Rhett, I think you said it right at the very beginning. You said beautiful from the outside and the in. You're truly a beautiful person, Ann, and we need more people out there, like you. So thank you for being you, and thank you for serving our communities. You truly are. You're an inspiration. So.
It's our pleasure.
We're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
And if you want to check us out, come on over to realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Or if you want to check us out on video, and I think you should, come on over to YouTube and you'll find us at the Dubuc team. Again, that's the Dubuc team on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And, make sure that you do, because you're going to want to meet Ann live and in person. We love the subscribes, and we'd love it if you'd leave a comment. We'll definitely write you back. So I guess until the next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.